The emotions that you felt tonight, first game back here.
Yeah, I was really comfortable. I'm not gonna lie to you. It wasn't weird. It wasn't anything. It was just like I'm playing at home like I have been for the past 5 years, and the reception, was phenomenal. I'm appreciative of it, from everybody. The tribute video was great, but it felt like just a typical Jazz night. We back and forth, screaming, yelling. It was awesome. It was good to be back, and unfortunately we didn't get the dub, but I gotta give them credit. They fought hard and competed to the end, and but it was great to be back.
Chris.
Donovan, did you watch the tribute video?
Parts. I was trying to, I told everybody on the other side I wasn't going to talk to him today. That was for the first game, but JC ran over and gave me a hug. I was trying to, be locked in, but I saw it. Believe it or not, I saw it when I first got here. So when I first, where's Niall? Niall in here, she got mad at me. I went out there and just stood and looked at the arena, kind of just to see it before you go out there, and then they were playing it. So I had already seen it, so I already, saw it, and like I said, man, I'm very appreciative of it. We spent a lot of time here, a lot of good things, and you saw it throughout the video, and the nasty hairstyle I had when I first got to the league, and just I'm very appreciative of it.
When did you see it? Clarify.
So I got here probably like 4:30, and so like in the tunnel, no one can really see you, so that's why I kind of just stand there and just look around. And I just did that just to kind of calm myself down, and before, because I don't go out to see the floor until I shoot, and that's when everybody's there. So just spend some time out there just to look and just feel all the emotion, and then get back to stretching and get ready for it.
Front row sitting.
Were you surprised at all by the warm reception, or is that kind of what you expected?
Yes and no. I mean, like I said, we did a lot of good, but I was, I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. But, when I got it, it's like I said, it just felt like a regular Jazz game. Like you've been here, and, the support, the love you get, is unmatched. Like I said, I was appreciative of it. But, obviously could have went one or two ways. We all know that in this room. And, it went the right way, I feel like, and I appreciate that. And, unfortunately we couldn't shut everybody up and get the win. But, we definitely, it felt good. People courtside, talking and, seeing familiar faces, seeing Gail courtside, seeing Ryan Clark from Stant Sox, everybody. It was great. My mom and sister were there. It was great.
Sarah.
Donovan, is it fair to say that a lot of the negativity that you've heard, seen from fans has been on social media?
I would say yes and no to that. I think, like I said in the interview, like it's not every fan, it's not everybody, but there are things that I see and hear that I didn't bring up, in the interview that, I didn't want to bring up because I knew how much it would get a reaction on social media, but I thought I did enough that way with people. And like I said this morning, like, I've been saying this for years, maybe not to the extent, but I've been talking about all these different things and different scenarios for a while. And, yeah, you see it on social media, see it, but, who cares what social media says? And, but at the end of the day, when you see it, and sometimes it does say Utah Jazz on the thing, and you see what the people are saying. So, and it's not like it's a fake page, you know what I mean? It's not some troll, it's actual person and your actual picture, and you see that and you feel that, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. And that's where I was going with that. And also, like, just trying to use my voice like I have been continuously to speak for people that, you guys don't put a camera in front of because they don't have that voice. They're not able to speak on it, and that was really my intention. That's always going to be my intention with what I do and how I move forward, not just for Donovan Mitchell. Like I said in the interview, like I gave my idea, and, like I was good to go. What about the kid, the person that's not able to do that? You know what I mean? That's pretty much, my sentiments towards how I go about that stuff, because we're given such a platform and a pedestal to speak on these things, and I try to do that as much as I can.
When you mentioned that you didn't know which way this was going to go, right? And I think that a lot of people were wondering that. So was there a sense of relief? Because the ovation was pretty.
Yeah, it was really nice, and I think. I would say a sense I was prepared for both. I was prepared for, I had plenty of time to think about it. But when you get that, and that's what made it feel comfortable. When you hear that, you hear your name, thank you, introduced. You hear the fans screaming it. Just like I said, I've been playing here for 5 years. Only difference is I'm on the other side of the floor. But when you hear that, you see everybody courtside wearing your jerseys, screaming your name. That's what allows you to feel comfortable, and it is a sigh of relief. And then, like I said, I'm appreciative of it. But when we were in the locker room, I told the guys, look, I don't know what's what's going to happen tonight. You know what I mean? But let's just prepare for a dogfight. It's going to be, whether they cheer or not, it's going to be, a dogfight because not only the atmosphere, but this is a talented group, and they got a lot of guys who've been playing really well. So we got to go out there and give it our best shot.
Kelsey.
Your mom and sister were sitting courtside, and then, after your name was introduced, you went over and gave them a hug. What did it mean to have them here for this game?
They were there from the first one. Excuse me. They were there from the first one and the first game against the Nuggets, and to be here, to have them there. They've been through the whole ride with me, the highs and lows, and my sister has sacrificed so much on a day-to-day. In her childhood, she's still a child. She just turned 21, so she might disagree, but she's still a child, and for me to just show my appreciation, to show my love, and just making sure that they can have whatever, and this life has been allowed me to do that, and I'm very thankful. But to have them there in this moment, it means the world to me.
What was going through your head when you were standing in the tunnel, kind of taking it in pregame, and those emotions you were feeling? What were those emotions?
Everything. The last time I was in here, ironically again, we lost. You know what I mean? And just seeing that, seeing Game 6 against OKC, seeing Game 5 against the Clippers where we lose and I don't play, but also seeing the nights where I had 46, in career highs and different things, big wins. We set the record for, I think, at the first season against the Magic where we won by the highest margin. I had the record setting for threes. Like, there's so much good done in this building. You just kind of want to see it and just let it run through your mind and let it play before you go back into game mode, because you got to be appreciative of it. At the end of the day, it's a long season and there's different things you have to appreciate throughout the year. And I think coming here and being able to feel that, is huge.
Now that the first one's out of the way, Don, what do you hope your relationship is like with the state of Utah going forward?
I hope it's the same as it was tonight. I think the same as it always been. I really want to harp on the fact that I don't speak on everybody when I bring up what I bring up. And I think that's something that gets lost in the shuffle. But it is what it is. And I just understanding that, like I said, we've done a lot of good here, not just myself, but my teammates, Mike, Royce, JC, Rudy, Joe. Like, we can go down the line. We've done so much good, to inspire change on and off the floor. And I think that's something that we will forever keep, and that's my biggest thing. And, like I said, it's easy to point out the negative. We live in a world where that's like, everything that's funneled through it. But, at the end of the day, we did a lot of good, man. And I think that's something that I want to make sure is always harped on. But, I'm not going to stop using my voice the way, I feel like I should.
Can you share what you told Walker after the game?
Oh, yeah, he calls out what coverage he's going to be in before he is in it. So, I knew what he was going to do before. So, he calls drop, which means he's going to be back. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'm going to shoot a three. The one time he didn't call it out was when I missed it at the end of the game, and he had to be up, and then I rushed into a shot. So I told him, I said, that's, as you play guys who shoot threes off the dribble, they're going to go at you, but don't tell them the answer to the exam before it comes, And he's going to be really good, man. He's a really humble kid, He's going to be really solid, and he's working with a childhood friend of mine, and Chris Jones, and he's going to be really good.
Back row standing.
Don, starting with Joe Ingles and then finishing with you and Rudy. In the blink of an eye, this core group of guys, this great group of friends, was broken up.
Yeah.
I know how we're always going to remember that group, how we always remember that group.
I don't even know where to start. A lot of laughs, a lot of, honestly, I'm very thankful of that group because it helped groom me to be the person, the player that I am today. A lot of what you're seeing now was, because of them, because they, allowed me to be that guy at a young age, to be able to, the same shots that I hit tonight, the same ones where I was missing my rookie year and telling me to shoot them, telling me to, pick it up on different ends and teaching me the ins and outs of the game, how to take care of my body, how to take care of, how to be a pro. And, I'm very appreciative starting from Ronnie Hood, my first year, and I don't think Ronnie gets enough credit because, it was supposed to be his team when I first got here. And when you have a young guy come in and, plays your position and then starts over you, and he was nothing but a complete professional, if anything, boosting me up to play. And I don't think a lot of people know that and telling me what coach means when he says different things and honestly just boosting me up. And you don't get that a lot in the NBA. That speaks to the group of people that we've had in this locker room, and I'm very appreciative of those guys. We still talk to everybody every time we see them. And we did I'm gonna keep saying it, but we did a lot of good things, man. I think we all get consumed with championship, and that's not easy. There's a reason why there's only one team that that has done it, that does it every year. And we fell short, but I can't say I would choose a different group, to do this with, because we were great, man. We did a lot of really good things.
Eric,
Mike said this morning at shoot around that he and you kind of have remained in constant contact this whole season, that you were at one point like kind of calling him after every Jazz win, just like very excited, joking that you knew you were the problem. Can you kind of take us through the relationship that you've maintained this season with guys like Mike and JC?
Well, it's easy because we play Xbox together, so that doesn't change. But like I said, like I was just saying, like those guys, not only were just integral parts for myself, but just this community and this organization, and you build friendships. You're with these guys more than your family, and you build relationships, and the amount of love that I have for those guys, I don't know if what you see on the court even shows it. Like, there will never be another game where I'm constantly giving another guy a hug in the middle of the game and it's a 4-point game in the fourth quarter. Like, that never happens. I will never do that. But, like, JC's grabbing me and I'm grabbing him, because at the end of the day, we're blessed to play this game together as a group. We're blessed to be able to be in this position. And, there's so many memories you have from just playing with each other for 5 years and chase those guys 3 years, 3 or 4 years. But those guys, and they mean the world to me, man. That they, like I said, a lot of my teammates may really help me become who I'm growing to be as a player. And I think that goes unforeseen in these days, because like I said, like the player I'm continuously trying to grow to be, they've helped me continuously get there.
And then I know there's been a lot of negativity about some of the comments that you made in that interview, but there's also been people of color within this community who really kind of latched on to your comments and found, kind of seen themselves reflected in your words. So I guess what would your message be to them?
I think the biggest thing is keep fighting. And when I say that, I mean keep trying to inspire change. Understand that this isn't going to happen overnight. I said that when I first got here. I'm still saying this isn't going to happen overnight. Especially people that are obviously here in Salt Lake. It's not easy. It's not. And I think we all know that in this room. And, I encourage everybody to use their voice, to continue to speak out. And it's not an easy thing, Eric, on a day-to-day. And, I'm upset that I can't be here to continuously speak on it, but understanding that, we hear you. And when I say we hear you, like we hear you asking, calling for help in different scenarios, and whether it's social justice, racism, police brutality, we hear you. And I think sometimes as a people we feel unheard. And I think that was really a lot of my thing, was to be able to show, whether it's bringing people to games, being there at games, being at events, is we hear you and you are heard and you have a voice. And I think that's something I really want to hammer home, is that, there's a voice and there's a voice to be heard, and continue to use that voice, because, we can't change unless people are uncomfortable. That's the biggest growth, the thing of growth, getting uncomfortable, having those uncomfortable conversations and doing things that are just uncomfortable, trying to inspire that within our culture, and within this world. And, like I said, I'm going to continue to do what I do to try and, help facilitate that. And, but we hear you.
Danny.
When you mentioned seeing the video you saw on 4:30, then obviously you're on the court to see it again. Which of those two moments were more emotional?
The first one, I could laugh and smile and, like I said, look at myself in the Denver Nuggets hat and talk about how I'm shaking and all that stuff. That was really like the emotions could kind of ride through, and you feel that. But, once the game started, one thing on my mind was just trying to get a win, and trying to be appreciative but also stay locked in. But, that's where the smiles, and that's where you start seeing and visualizing everything you've done, that I've done in this arena.
Is there any sense of relief that this night's over for you now that the turn is out of the way and you can kind of move on?
I wouldn't say relief. I mean, I think it was highly anticipated by everybody. I think for me, it's going to sound weird, but I think going back home after the summer, playing in the Garden after that whole debacle thing happened, I think that was more like, all right, let's just get this over with. This was more like, you've been here, I've seen everybody. I know the security guards. I know the announcers. Like, it was just great to see everybody. I think that was more so what it was, and just be around. And I think that's really what it is. I wouldn't call it relief that it's over because, God willing, I'm here in a few more weeks. You know what I'm saying? So, just enjoy. I think that's one of the things we forget to do is enjoy the moment, enjoy where you are, and not rush for it to kind of be over.
Last two, Sarah and then Chris. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
I can't help but think, you called Jordan, your sister, a child, a kid at 21. Are you aware of the weight of things that you put on your shoulders at 22, 23 years old?
At 22 and 23, no, I wasn't. But now looking back on it, yes. And understanding that, I took on a lot, but because I felt like I was, doing the right thing, I still feel that way. I felt like I was doing what I would want my idol to do. I would want my person that I look up to do. And, when I first got here, my thing was I'm not even supposed to be here. Like, I wasn't expecting to be here. So now that I am, I'm like, man, I'm going to do everything that I want, the person that I look up to do. And after a while, it piles on, and, obviously you're going to receive pushback for different things you do, and you're going to see praise for what you do. And then obviously as expectations grow on the court, you're expected to do things on a different night that some nights I did, some nights I didn't, and understanding that. And I think that's what, when you look in the tunnel and you sit and you watch everything, that's what you feel like we and I did a lot, and, being very appreciative of it, I give myself, my assistant coach, JJ, tells me to give myself some grace. I think I'm really hard on myself, and understanding that, I did a lot, and I'm appreciative of that. I'm appreciative of God allowing me to carry that weight on my shoulders on a nightly basis. And, it's not the same, pressure as real life pressure, but at the same token, it's a lot for a young kid. And, I would redo it, and I wouldn't do it any other way.
Is it humbling to have Howell's picture in the visiting locker room instead of yours?
100%, 100%. Zinho and Ricky, man, it's great to have those guys around too, because like I said, the fraternity of people that I've been in this organization that I've played with is, it's great to still be able to have those relationships and still talk. And speaking of which, shout out to Derek Favors for getting signed to the Hawks back home. That was big. Good to see him back. But that's what this is about, man. And you want to win games, you want to play at the highest level, but you never forget the relationships you build throughout your career.
Chris and the young lady in the pink in the back.
Donovan, given how close you are to JC, how do you plan on getting him back for spoiling your night?
I think this was just payback for him not shooting well in Cleveland. And he had that look in his eye, and I was just like, damn, it's going to be one of those back and forth nights. And, I'll probably, I don't know, I got to figure it out. It's a good question. Probably kick his ass in Call of Duty or something. But, it'll be, it was just, it sucks to lose, I'm not going to lie, but when you see a guy like JC who's grown, who's grown so much this year out of all the years I could say in his career as a player, as a playmaker, as a guy who's taken over, who's typically been a guy who's been on the bench, comes in and scores and does his thing, but he's done a lot on both ends of the floor. And to be a leader in that locker room, there's a reason why people gravitate towards JC. And, it's great to see him flourishing and doing his thing.
What did you say to him after the game?
I can't repeat it.
Finish us off, please.
Yeah, so that was my question exactly. So what do you say to JC and Mike, and do you have any mixed emotions about seeing those guys get the dub, given you were on the other side of it?
I mean, you always want to win. We've been trying to win on the road. That's our thing as a team. We've been trying to get better at that. So that part stings. But when you lose to my guys, and, JC is the one that had 7 points in 8 seconds, that's just, like I said, the growth and you see, and sometimes you got to just appreciate those moments in a season. It's a long season; it can become monotonous over and over again. So to have those moments, you can't ask for anything else. And I'm appreciative of him, and it sucks that he did what he did tonight. But in the flip side, I'm happy that he did what he did tonight. So it's 50-50.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Donovan. Thanks, Tom.
No problem.
Thank you. Appreciate it.